Officials of the Gambia Port Authority have begun a dredging exercise at the seaport of Banjul. The government of Egypt commits more funding to tourism industry amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Gambia's Public Utility Regulatory Authority appears before the National Assembly Enterprise Committee a second time. Well, these and more coming your way on The World Today. Hello, you're watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV. I am Amadou Kante. Many thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. Now, the Gambia Ports Authority has begun a dredging exercise at the seaport in Banjul that is geared towards the removal of sediments that are gathered affecting the depth of the sea for ship batting. Well, the exercise contracted to a local farm, Sino Magilla, take place every 2 years with the aim to engage in the sand dredging to eradicate the unwavering mining chaos in the country. Well, details of that in this report by Sohna Tunkara.
Sand mining is a growing business worldwide, filling a critical need for concrete in construction projects ranging from roads to high-rises. But it is also responsible for a wide range of environmental damages, such as coastal erosion and degradation of river systems, among others. In the Gambia, sand mining has become an increasing booming business, which has caused many extraction places that authorities worried of the situation.
And that is the Combo Coast, if you all are following, has been totally eviscerated, totally destroyed by sand mining and sand miners, bad actors. What we are going to do is, once we are finished with this place, we're going to be doing sand dredging, and that sand is going to be coming from the sea so that we can mitigate the damage that is being done to our coast. That sand mining gets stopped on those beaches, because if it continues, I'm telling you guys, we will, in few years, our forests will all be gone. The little few gardens, and there are still few of them, even if you go to even Gujur, they will show you these places. So just go and see it for yourself.
The Gambia port is a convenient transit place for ships to different continents. Despite the limited space for ships to dock, the country has hosted series of cargo ships. Every 2 years, port officials conduct a general cleansing of the Banjul Sea to eradicate sediments that affect the depth of the sea for ships to bathe.
There are factors that are responsible for the siltation. We can see sediments are gathered, deposited at the port of Banjul, thereby affecting the depth. The adequate, acceptable depth for ship bathing. Okay, it is affecting that. So therefore, this exercise is a routine one. It is not common. It is not uncommon. It's part of the port's management. That we are doing it anytime in every 2 years.
According to the officials of Sino Magilla Company, the exercise will go a long way in national development, especially the sand mining sector. In 2019, residents of Faraba Bantan demonstrated against the sand mining company, alleging that it was causing environmental damages in the area, resulting to loss of life. For Africa TV, Sohna Tunkara.
Next in Uganda, because Uganda has recorded more than 30,000 coronavirus cases, but citizens are not relenting in their efforts to contain the spread of the virus in the East African country. The Ugandan SAFE has turned to a face shields business to earn a living and also help others to protect themselves against the COVID-19 pandemic. As the number of coronavirus cases continue to rise, authorities urge citizens to adhere to the outlined COVID-19 protocols. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Jacob Omondi designs face shields out of plastic and paper. He's a chef turned craftsman.
I'm feeling more happier because when I make a face shields, the person who is producing the trans paper will get his money. The person who is selling elastic is also going to get something small. The boy in Nkrumah Road who is making for me the badges will also get something small. The border person who is going to transport my face shield is going to get something. So me being in that creativity kind of life, so many people are also getting a share out of it.
Omondi employs about 5 people in his face shield business. In a day, they make about 500 face shields. The price tag for each shield is $1.05.
During this time of COVID, we could say that it has been a terrible thing to us as Ugandans, but it was like an obstacle, but we found that an obstacle, we made it an opportunity because we we learned how to make masks and we could get a living.
But the business faces stiff competition from other manufacturers. To keep his business afloat, Omondi markets his face shields in the community.
With the customers, he or she will see that it's hygienic, it's very clear, it's clean. You know, they will feel at home when you're transacting with them.
The Uganda government is urging citizens to follow COVID-19 guidelines by social distancing, washing hands frequently with soap, and wearing masks. And as Ugandan authorities continue to ease restrictions, health workers are also urging people to use protective gears like this one to help reduce infection rates in the country. But they are concerned that some people are ignoring the health recommendations and causing an upsurge in COVID-19 cases.
We just need to intensify our prevention measures. Already people are crowding, people are not wearing masks, they're not taking all the measures. So that is a worry, of course.
Uganda has registered over 39,000 cases and 318 deaths. The hope is that community initiatives like Omondi's face shields can help curb the spread of COVID-19 in the country.
From the report there in Kampala, Uganda has the number of COVID-19 cases continue to rise in the country. Citizens are also initiating a new program to fight against the pandemic. Now we come back home and head straight to matters of the National Assembly because the Public Utility Regulatory Authority PURA on Thursday appeared before the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly in Banjul. The utility regulatory body, however, failed to present its activity and financial report before the committee for consideration. Let's have more details of that in this report by Ndesise.
Public enterprises continue to appear to the National Assembly Enterprise Committee to present their activity reports and financial statements for scrutiny. On Thursday, the Public Utility Regulatory Authority, PURA, appeared before the Public Enterprise Committee, but failed to present its activity and financial reports for consideration. However, the chairman of PURA Alungom appealed for a week for his institution to reappear before the committee for the presentation of the necessary documents.
But I don't want us to prolong giving excuses on the side of management. I think what is important is that the kind request they have made to the committee through the honorable chairperson, that by next week, and I think maybe before we leave here, they should give a definite timeline to what time in next week they'll make the submissions to the committee.
PURA was supposed to submit its activity report and financial statements a day before, but its Director General, Mamadou Jallo, explains the reason of their failure to appear before the committee.
The reason we did not come yesterday was not deliberate, but due to the failures, definitely, we thought that we were supposed to appear this afternoon instead of yesterday afternoon. So this is why we could not make it. We would definitely have shown up yesterday, if it were not for the internal failures, and explain to you the same thing that we have explained just now, what my chairman has explained, and my humble self. So definitely it was not deliberate, and we sincerely apologize.
The chairman of the Public Enterprise Committee, Honorable Halifa Saleh, stated that the submission of activity reports and financial statements are to ensure that there is a fair view in every government institution. The Public Utility Regulatory Authority is expected to reappear before the Public Enterprise Committee on 3rd February 2021 for the presentation of its reports for consideration. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy C.
Enterprises continue to appear before the National Assembly for scrutiny. And from the report by Ndesise, next to Zimbabwe, where despite the impact of the global health crisis, Zimbabwe's stock market is on the right footing beginning the 2021 year. Experts say businesses were largely affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but there is a high hope for the local investors to dominate the market compared to the previous years. Here are more details of that in this report.
While it's still early days yet, the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange seems to be living up to expectations and has picked up from where it left off last year.
I think looking at the performance of the African market so far, just from the past 2 weeks, we will see that already the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange was, I think, close to about 6% up, and this is in actual real returns. And my anticipation is that we should hold strong in that regard, for the rest of the year.
The dearth of viable investment options will continue to buoy the local bourse.
When you look at the money market and the interest rates that are being paid there, they are negative real interest rates. When you compare them with inflation, where inflation is around 348%, and the interest rates that are being paid are between 30 to 70%. So you can actually see that investors will not recoup much in terms of interest earnings. The real estate sector, you can actually also see that it's very illiquid. People are holding on to sell in US dollars, and the prices in US dollars are not are too high for those who hold US dollars.
Unlike in previous years, local investors are expected to dominate activity. Concerns over the repatriation of dividends, as well as the abrupt closure of the exchange for 5 weeks last year, saw some jittery foreign investors take flight. The ZSE has lowered the minimum amount needed to invest to 500 Zimbabwe dollars, about $6, and set up a trading portal, paving the way for thousands of individuals to buy and sell shares directly.
Really, individual investors make up less than 5% of the participants on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange currently. So this is a great opportunity. Zimbabweans generally have a high propensity to save. And, once you've saved that money, you want to make sure that you don't just keep it in a place where it loses value because of inflation. You want to make sure that you find a home for it where it can grow. And so the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange does offer that opportunity.
The ZSC says about 20% of trades have come through the direct portal already and plans to make further improvements to see the volumes grow.
You're watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV, and from that report in Harare, Zimbabwe, we'll now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining update stories. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any Africell customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and now to matters of the ongoing public hearings of the TRRC. Now, Gambia State Commission continues its hearing on the crimes committed by the National Intelligence Agency during former President Yahya Jammeh's 22-year dictatorial rule. Well, Lamin Dabo, a former officer of the NIA, on Thursday told the Commission that all alleged tortures at the NIA were done by the junglers instead of personnel of the National Intelligence Agency. Omar Ahmed Toure tells us more of that in this report.
Lamin Dabo said NIA was a torture chamber, but the torture wasn't done by them. Yet, he contradicted himself, saying he was privy to his staff beating then Army Major Sadio Touré.
Why do you say that the NIA was the torture chamber?
NIA talk about the torture chamber. All the tortures NIA, we are not done by the NIA personnel.
The NIA was just smeared as a torture.
These people used to come. We all know about it. We complain about it. We cannot do anything about it.
NIA was known by as a torture.
If you are sent to join the what can you do?
But your own staff say you were doing the torturing yourself. You also say it was them who were doing the torturing.
Council, I know what I understand as torture.
He was slapped in my presence, he was beaten, but not torture. Beating is also torturing.
They did that in my presence and I admit it.
Dabo, who was head of special operations at NIA, trod along the line of contradiction again when he accepted detaining people in horrible conditions and extorting confessions from them.
And not only did you detain them unlawfully, you also obtained evidence from them unlawfully. Evidence from them unlawfully.
I never did that. For somebody to say something that is not right. No.
If you torture somebody and obtain a confession from the person, isn't that obtaining evidence unlawfully?
Yes, if somebody was tortured, yes, that's correct. Sorry, that's right.
If somebody
that is right, yes.
Okay, so
I don't know. I don't get you right.
But you did that. Yes, that's true, but this is a place that we have already gone past. Exactly.
The then NIA officials were directly receiving orders from the former president, according to many witnesses who appeared before the commission. Dabo's genius all confirmed torturing people, with him included, but he said he only beat and never tortured anyone.
I will never say I tortured anybody. I will never accept that. I will never accept that.
Is that a matter of principle?
No, it's not.
Is that a matter of principle?
I never tortured anybody, Council. I never tortured anybody.
You only beat.
Council, I've interacted with
answer the question, you only beat. You don't torture.
You associate me with beating already, I accept it.
Lamin Dabo was born in Jarabureng in LRL. He joined NIA in 1999 as a security guard and rose to become head of special operations responsible for arresting people. His highest level of education is a certificate in grade 9. For iAfrica TV, I am Omar Ahmad Toure.
All right, from that report there by Omar Ahmad Toure on the ongoing hearing of the TRRC finally to Egypt, because the Egyptian government is set to provide additional funding to help revive the country's depleted tourism industry due to the continuous impact of the coronavirus pandemic. They impose restrictions to curtail the spread of the virus as for the real effort to save the sector. Egypt has begun its vaccination process, but stakeholders in the tourism sector are worried of the situation. Here are more details of that in this report.
The number of tourists visiting Egypt sank to 3.5 million last year from 13.1 million in 2019. This as the pandemic hammered the vital industry. Revenue plunged 70% year-on-year as foreign occupancy rates in Egyptian hotels dropped to just 10 to 15% of 2019 levels. It's this reason that the industry, which accounts for 15% of the national output and is a key source of foreign currency, will continue to receive the central bank's emergency fiscal funds during the second year of the pandemic.
Without the tourism support and the government support to all travel agencies and hotels, I doubt very much that so many people will survive. Accordingly to the Ministry of Tourism in Egypt, we have lots of programs for support for empty hotels and for encouraging the workers in the tourism field to recover and get some of their lost income.
Travel restrictions imposed to curb the spread of the virus have taken a toll on the global tourism industry. Airlines have had to impose strict anti-COVID measures in a bid to comply with the authorities' demands, amid the uncertainty caused by the pandemic.
Egypt, for example, requests PCR tests from arriving and departing passengers, so there's no need for border closures. Egypt has not closed down, and many other countries have also adopted a similar method. But unfortunately, the Europeans have tough travel restrictions. Why do so if a passenger can prove that they are COVID-19 negative? Travel restrictions should be eased, especially with the rollout of the vaccines. It is essential to revive international travel because this will promote trade, business and economics, and not just tourism alone.
Europe is Egypt's largest tourist market, and there's optimism a quick vaccination process against the virus can speed up the resumption of travel. However, some in the industry expect recovery to remain slow.
Local travel have increased by 25%, but the average room rate will not be the same like receiving foreigners in same hotels. So it will take some time until we fully recover. I would say 2021 will not be the major year that will return all the losses. We believe in 2023 that the first quarter of 2023 that will give us an indication that the recovery will make something according to the situations that has to do with the pandemic.
Egypt has already started COVID-19 vaccinations this month after approving China's Sinopharm vaccine. The process is expected to make the North African state a safe tourist destination during the coronavirus. But until then, players working in the vital industry still have a bumpy road ahead.
And from the report there in Cairo, Egypt, we finally bring this news bulletin to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, you can visit on our website on africa.tv. Well, Sohna Tunkara would be here at 19:30 GMT or 7:30 local time for the Gambia 24 News Bulletin. But for now, though, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and bye for now.